Well, hi everybody, and welcome to Moodle Support Theater. This is episode number 4, and we're going to take some of the information from our previous lessons and put it to work. So let's come to the administration column. Let's select grades. And in our last episode, we went to the setup a lot. In this version, we're going to stay right here and we're going to select Jewel Gradebook. That's highlighted so we know it's good to go. I was pretty dogmatic on selecting and creating categories, and aside from it being just a really good way to keep your information in order, let's look at this section here in the left top area. Notice we have a drop down and we can select any particular grade area we wish. Also, we have green arrows that do the very same thing, and we can choose all categories. Very useful if I wanted to go to the homework section and work on specific information. A couple things I want to show you before we get rolling. Here everything's kind of nice and centered, but if we go to, let's say, the grader report view, things can get pretty strange. Notice that our controls have moved, it looks like, to the left. So we come to the lower area and we pull, and there's our grader report, and come all the way over, and here in the upper right hand corner you can turn your editing on and off. Let's come back to the Jewel Gradebook view. I like the Jewel Grader. I think there's a lot of good stuff, and let me show you why. Let's go to the Checking for Understanding column, and notice that something looks like a piece of paper there. And these are things you can do. Let's choose the Jewel Grader. You have in the upper left, return to course, show activities, full screen, and in the upper right you have which students you're going to be using with the drop down or the green arrow, and Checking for Understanding. Everything in the homework section is going to be available for you to look at. Should a person have submitted something, that item will be here and can be opened in the left hand area. In the right, you can add the grade, you can add feedback, and you can drag and drop files to return a paper. I do recommend saving, even if you're doing one item, or save, grade, and move to the next. Activity comments are a way that you can make little notes. For example, much improved. Both you and the student will see this information. Okay, you can save your comments. Save, save, save. Always very important. I'm going to exit full screen mode. Let's see what that does. Very nice, but it's still going to have to come back to the front page. Another method, using our little paper at the top, is the module grader. This is a quick link to the quick grade feature. Let's choose view and grade all submissions. This is nice. Here's your students. If a file is submitted, it will be here in the File Submitted column. Your feedback column, this is for a Twitter length comment, by the way. Don't go nuts here. If you're going to return a paper, use that drag and drop section on the previous screen. This is for a Twitter length comment. For example, for student A, we put good use of the key points to support your work, and the student will see that when you enable feedback. And we're going to show you how to do that in just a second. Saving, very important, especially if you have several pages. Before you change a page, save your grade. If for some reason you come in and see here where it says quick grading, I'm going to remove that check. You lose the option to quick grade. If you get to this page, it looks like this, please come to the bottom, put a check in the box, and you're ready to go. Also, if you noticed, you can choose how many assignments per page you wish to use. Let's come back to Checking for Understanding. Let's come back probably to the front page. There's a couple other useful features. I don't want this to get really long. Notice here in the after the grade, for example, on student 2, this is the comment you would put in, and this shows you that you have put in a comment. You can also add another comment if you wish at this point. Two other useful features I want to show you. Change all the grades in this column. If you have a large class and everybody but a few people turn in an assignment, you can give everybody a grade, and then instead of adding a single grade for each person, you simply remove the grades for those persons who didn't do the work. This can be a real time saver. The column grader, this is if you have that big stack of papers, and we've all been there, and you just need to input some grades for each of your students, or if you have a number of students who've done it and it's way past the deadline, and you're going to have to give zeros, and we do need to put a 0 in our gradebook to indicate incomplete or non-turned in work. If you have to do that, you can do this quickly instead of, again, one item at a time. Lots of good things on this column, on this feature. Please come on in and we'll talk about it. You can do a lot of good stuff. Let's go to Setup. I want to show you another couple of things. Let's go to the Preferences for Grader Report. Most of this stuff we're going to leave alone. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom, and there's 2 items. Notice it says students per page. I've set mine to 20. If I have a class of 100, that might be workable for me. If you have a smaller class and you only want 5 persons per page, not a problem. Save your change, and you're good to go. Now I want to take you to the Grader view. I want to come to the upper corner and turn editing on, and notice you can add grades here in the different columns, but there's no place to put feedback. Remember we had feedback in one of those students? Yes, indeed. Let's go to Setup. Let's go to Preferences in Grader Report. Let's come to the bottom of the page and Show Quick Feedback. The default is no, because not everybody wants to do it, but I believe in choice. If you want to, let's say yes, show the quick feedback. Save your change, and now next to each solid box, which contains your number, is a dotted box, and you can put, again, a Twitter length amount of text there. It's very important. Solid boxes, numbers, dotted boxes, data. If you put a number in the dotted box, it will not calculate. It will not be counted as a grade. It thinks you're just typing. So, again, save your changes after you do your work. Let's come over to the center. Let's choose Setup. Well, that's about all the time we have for this episode. Come on back next time. We'll have an in-depth look at some of the more advanced features, including importing and exporting your course and the use of Excel. If you have questions between now and then, come on by the CIS Office Center for Instructional Support. We're in Library 321, and we're here to help.